Are you fine with that boys are given the universe quote? Or do you want me to find another one?
What was that?
Boys are given the universe in which to carve out their identities, the promise of infinite space for them to expand.
That's applicable.
I like how you talked into it.
Yes, that's applicable. Yes. It's like someone's asking me on a jury. Yes.
Kenzie Meekbeck to testify.
Yes. This could be our clip for the week.
Yes.
Have you seen that? The SNL guy who's like the interviewer, and he's like, okay, reporting live from blah, 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 New York. And he's like this old guy. His name is Herb. And he's like this old reporter. And literally, are you ready for this? I'm going to do it to you. Okay. He goes, what do you think about it? And he'll say like a really sexist, disgusting things because he's old as and he'll just be like, I'm sorry I keep doing that to you, but I'm not that sorry about it. Okay.
Today I want to hold up my mic as if I'm a reporter. How are you doing today?
Yes. That's like being a reporter. It's like, so what do you describe how you feel about taxes right now in our city?
I like turtles.
You like turtles? I like turtles. This can be our like.
Have you seen?
What if we're just like this today?
Have you seen the I like turtles video?
No.
It's the best one on YouTube. I watch it a million times a day.
I like turtles.
So it's this little boy. He's probably like 5 or 6 years old, and he has his face painted like a zombie. It was a Halloween carnival for the town. And the news reporter was like, we have a great zombie here. He's got a great face painting. How do you like that face paint? I like turtles.
It's like, as a reporter, when you're interviewing a kid, it's just like my voice changes when I'm interviewing kids. I can't even do it unless like I'm around a kid, but it's like 50 octaves higher.
You're like, hi.
I'm like, hello.
Have you seen the one? It always comes out around back to school time. And the reporter was talking to a little boy who was starting kindergarten for the first time.
Yeah, that one's so sad.
And she was like, are you nervous for your first day? No. Are you going to miss your mom? No. And he starts like crying.
Well, he like, you can see his face change. Like he realizes his mom isn't going to be around the whole time.
He like is finally comprehending what's happening. He's like, oh, mom's not going to be there.
Anyway, welcome to shoot.
Did you like holding the microphone like that when you were?
I missed it.
You miss holding it like that?
Here, let me be like. Kenzie Meekbeck reporting live for news. Back to you in the studio.
That was a good one. How do they teach you how to talk like that?
They say we're not supposed to, but we all talk like that.
Why do you?
I used to like get real. You know how goofy I am. Mm-hmm. So like when I was with my photogs and I really got to, it's like the goofier, more I know you, the goofier I am. Mm-hmm. So I got like really close to my photogs, and so I would like be like in the newsiest voice I could think of. I'd be like, reporting live from the scene, Kenzie Meekbeck knows. And they'd be like, can you shut the fuck up?
How come y'all all talk like that?
I feel like we just feel like we have to talk like that.
Like it makes you sound more professional?
Yeah.
Or if one of you does it, then all of you have to type thing?
It's actually talked about how we shouldn't talk like that. But I don't know. Anywho, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to leave all that in. I'm going to have to bleep out a few, though.
You're going to leave that whole thing in?
Yeah.
We haven't even kicked it off yet.
Well.
3, 2, 1.
Welcome to The Peaceful Truth, the podcast where we talk about everything from feminism, women empowerment, and more. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm joined by my co-host, Meghan Howards.
Hello.
Can you do a news voice?
I don't think I can do a news voice. I'm not too sure. Welcome to the 7 o'clock news.
Oh my God. Okay, this is going straight down the toilet very quickly. Okay, so today we're talking about doing things like a girl.
Yep. So you texted me with this idea, and I thought it was a really good one because
I thought it was a really good one. I just didn't research it.
I spent so much time researching sexism in the workplace that I didn't have time. I did research it some. That was you. But I thought you would give all the facts and then I can just, fluff it up.
Okay. This has gotten really lazy. Okay, so first I'm gonna. What are we doing this weekend? How's our weekend? We have to talk about our weekend.
Oh yeah. Okay. So today is Sunday. Yesterday on Saturday, I went to yoga. I got my hair done.
It looks go, girl.
Then me and Des did a little picnic at Sculpture Park, and so we got some snacks, got some chips, candy, all the good stuff, and then we took Cooper down to Sculpture Park, and we stayed out there and laid out a blanket, and it was super fun, and it was beautiful outside.
How romantical.
It was.
But yeah, what are you doing the rest of the weekend?
Then today, we're recording 2 episodes of the podcast, so I've been here for a while now.
When can I leave, Kenzie? And when will you stop procrastinating?
And then I will maybe make it to yoga tonight. If not, I'll do yoga in my apartment. And then, which is really difficult in and of itself.
When do you have to go to yoga?
It's okay if I don't make it. If not,
sorry, I didn't even know you had it.
No, it's okay.
Okay, cool.
I'm not teaching. I'm just attending.
Oh, okay.
And then tomorrow we have a day off because it's Labor Day, and it feels so good on Sunday not to have to go to work tomorrow.
It feels like 2 Saturdays. I'm pretending it's Saturday 2.0.
But by the time you guys hear this, it'll be way after Labor Day.
Yeah.
Actually, just 1 week, I guess.
No, 2.
No, this Thursday's going to be sexism. Oh, yeah. JK.
We're disclosing all of our secrets.
And then I really don't have any plans for tomorrow other than going to yoga in the morning and harmonium lessons at 1 o'clock. And I'm super excited about harmonium lessons because I love that.
Maybe I can go to the city and we can explore a district. I want to do something fun.
I can't think of anything fun to do. I'm not a fun person.
Yes, you are.
I mean, I guess I'm kind of fun.
I'm going to force someone to do something with me.
Okay, if you think of something to do, I'll do it with you.
Thanks.
I just can't think of anything fun to do. My whole life is Cooper, work, yoga, Desmond, friends. But friends...
Cello.
Friends always make the plans for me.
I know.
Chelsea always thinks of what to do, and I just go along with it.
Literally, story of my life. I realized I didn't have much to do this weekend because Chelsea didn't plan my weekend out for me.
Yeah, Chelsea's doing this road trip, visiting all of the family.
I know, I'm too poor.
And so then Kenzie didn't have anybody to make plans for her.
Like a lazy person.
And so then now she's like, I want to explore. And I'm like, well, I mean, I can do some research and find something for us to do.
I'll just make a list and maybe we can do it.
You know what I want to do? I want to see It. The new remake of It.
Do you want me to spend the night and sleep in between you and Des?
It doesn't come out till Thursday, but it's getting really good reviews. How usually remakes are wompy and womp womp. This one's getting 9 stars.
I can't. I'll have nightmares.
You will. Des won't go either. He said he'll have nightmares too.
Mm-mm.
Who will go with me to see It?
I'll go with you.
But I want you to have fun. I don't want you to be like, ah!
I will be like, ah! Oh, well. Okay. But speaking of movies, on Friday night, I had happy hour with friends, and then I went to the movie The Big Sick, which is like a romance, and it was super good. I'm a super sap, and I cried and I laughed, and it was great.
It was really good.
It tingles all of my favorite emotions.
Who is in it?
This comedian, I don't know his name, but I've seen him. But I think he's more. I heard just from other audience members walking out, so this might be completely inaccurate. I heard he also is a Bollywood actor.
Oh, well, is he of Indian descent?
Well, in the movie, he was talking about Pakistan.
Oh, so I think in Pakistan they have Bollywood.
They
too.
do.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so is it just like a Middle Eastern? Because I thought Bollywood was strictly of
Indian descent.
Yeah.
Okay, Big SICK.
Mm-hmm.
I honestly haven't heard of this movie. Of course, I don't watch much TV.
It's actually about interracial relationships.
Oh, it's at the Big Picture. I love the Big Picture. It is getting
Good reviews. It should. It's so funny. I was laughing the entire time.
It doesn't say what reviews it has. Oh, I know. I don't know who this guy is, but maybe I want to go see this by myself.
I'll go with you again.
Oh, 98% positive on Rotten Tomatoes.
I told you it's good.
Wow.
I'll go with you again. I loved it that much.
You loved it that much?
Yeah, I'll go with you 100%.
Okay. And then you have to go to it on Thursday.
We could go to a double feature.
Oh, one time, whenever I was in 6th-ish grade, I thought it was so cool to sneak into movies. So I only paid for one ticket.
Oh.
And then I went and saw one movie, and then I snuck into one after it.
You little rebel.
I know. Ooh, speaking of bad karma. Today I had 2 major incidences of bad karma.
Why?
Okay, the first one was upstairs at my apartment. There's a little pee area for dogs. So they have a little fence around it, and then it's artificial grass.
Mm-hmm.
And they have sprinklers that come on in the morning to clean it off. Well, Cooper usually doesn't go upstairs. He usually goes downstairs to the real grass to go potty because, you know, he's picky and stuff. But this morning I was like, Cooper, I'm running behind. We can only go upstairs. And so we go upstairs, and the sprinklers are on towards the back of the grass, but not the front. And I'm like, Cooper, you're going to go in the front of the grass. The sprinklers aren't on in the front of the grass. So I close him up in there with the sprinklers, and he's not getting wet at all. But he looks at me, he's like shaking, and he's like, I'm not going in here. And I'm like, Cooper, you are not wet at all. Those sprinklers aren't even close to the front of the grass.
Little anxiety ridden.
And so then I'm like, well, fine. And so then I open the gate, and then he comes out of the grass area, and then he starts to lift his leg to pee on the gate of the grass area. And I just let him do it. I just let him do it. As soon as he started lifting his leg, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna chalk this one up to bad karma. I'm running behind. I don't have enough time to take him downstairs. So I let him pee all over.
Can I make an unpopular comment about pee?
Yeah.
It's sterile. What's going to happen? Unpopular comment. Sorry.
Thanks, Ken. So are you saying that I don't have bad karma from that?
Yeah.
Okay. And then thanks. Then the second.
I deem it unbad.
Then the second bad karma thing, I posted it on our Insta story. Our neighbors are leaving their trash out in front of their door like idiots. Why would you leave your trash in the hallway?
Why is that bad karma onto you?
Because I posted it on our on our Instagram, and I was like, yo, neighbor, take out your freaking trash. I'm tired of looking at it. Yes, I'm calling you out. And then I
don't think that's bad.
As soon as I upload a story, I was like, well, it's kind of bad karma because I have this asshole of a dog who probably like whines all the time while I'm leaving. And then I felt like I'm probably not the most perfect neighbor either. But I can't control my dog, whereas you can control taking out the trash.
People would argue that you can control yourself.
Okay, I just feel like he does whine whenever I leave, but hopefully for only a minute.
I always wonder that. Oh, Binks did the cutest thing this week. I walked in the front door, and I had gone. Oh yeah, it was like Friday night, and I had gone out directly after work because it was with coworkers. And I walked in and he was hauling butt to say hi to me. He was like running. His little fat tummy was jiggling. And he's like, meow, meow, meow. And running like to see me.
Because he hadn't seen you all day.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so sweet.
He had to tell me about this day and what they did today.
He was like, Mom, look at my tummy. It's almost dragging the floor.
Yeah, big boy. But yeah, unpopular opinion about pee. But
So those are my 2 bad karma things for the day.
are we now doing bad karma? Just confessing your sins. This is like confessional.
I don't know what made me think of that.
Yeah, and then yesterday, what did I do? Did I already say what I did yesterday? I know what I did Friday.
No, you finished off with going to see The Big Sick.
And then I laid out. And then after laying out, I finished watching a series we're going to talk about later in the podcast. Then I fell asleep.
Perfect.
And then I got my nails done. And then I edited. I was kind of
Love
lame
it.
yesterday.
Well, you got a lot done.
All by myself. Because my sister didn't make plans for me. All by myself.
Chelsea, come back. Kenzie's going crazy.
I am. Okay. Yeah, I know. And then I wanted Aaron to go to dinner with me, and he didn't text me back because he was at swim. But I was like, Aaron, do you want to get dinner with me?
Oh.
I was like, all by myself.
Girl, you're killing me. And then you texted me to ask if I wanted to get my nails done. And I was like,
No.
sorry. Me and Des are having a little picnic.
All by myself.
Girl, you are making me depressed for you.
I'm just trying to make you feel bad because you'd rejected me. Okay, let's get back into the podcast. We haven't even talked about it. Okay, today is like a girl, and this is just like a girl is like comparing a man to a woman is like the biggest insult to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why is that the case? Like, it's like the biggest insult to be like, you're like a girl.
Yeah, and men should be like, yeah, so what?
Yeah. And they're like, and I feel like we even are like, I'm going to be bossy. I'm going to be the boss. And like almost like being masculine to like, and that's like a good thing for women. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird. But anyway, examples of being like a girl, like adjectives, like just saying, doing things like a girl, which I'll go into why I think that's stupid. In like pussy, which is like a synonym for a vagina.
So whenever a man calls, oh, don't be a pussy or whatever, it's so derogatory in so many senses of the word, because you're saying, oh, don't be like a girl, which first of all, why is that a bad thing? And then you're dragging our vagina into it. What does my vagina have to do with it?
The vajayjay into this conversation.
What does my vagina have to do with anything?
My vajayjay did not consent against your discrimination.
And I was talking to Des about this yesterday, and I was like, I hate it when people are like, don't be a pussy or whatever. And then he was saying, that's the language of the locker room or whatever, kind of like the Trump thing. And I was just like, don't bring our vaginas into it. Tell the person that you're trying to say, don't be insensitive, or don't be, I don't know.
They're never going to say that.
Right. But then it got me thinking, and I was saying, don't drag my genitals into this and call somebody a vagina or a pussy. And then I started thinking, well, we also drag dicks into it sometimes, because we say don't be a dick. When you're saying don't be an asshole, or like don't be rude, don't be disrespectful, you say don't be a dick. And then so I was saying we drag vaginas and penises into this, and we should just quit it.
That's painful. Stop dragging them.
I'm just saying we shouldn't say don't be a
agree.
pussy, and we also shouldn't say don't be a dick.
I agree.
Leave the genitals out.
Even though I said that in like the last podcast. Don't be a
It's hard. It's hard not to say both of. It's probably hard for men to not say don't be a pussy, and it's probably hard for us to say don't be a dick.
Right. And then they also call them soft, which I feel like soft can be interpreted as like more female characteristics. But soft, then again, is better than saying like a girl or pussy, but not much better because then that's discrimination against men.
Mm-hmm. So one of my favorite Netflix series, which I just asked you if you watched it, Stranger Things.
Oh,
it's so good and I love it so much. And I was actually rewatching the first episode because season 2 is going to come out October-ish, I think. Around Halloween is what they were saying. And so in the first episode, they're playing, it's not Dungeons and Dragons, but it's something like it, right? You know, that little...
yeah.
And
yeah.
And
it might be.
It might be Dungeons and Dragons. And so they're like all into it and they're all excited. And this one guy is supposed to be casting this spell. Will is supposed to be casting a spell. And the other guys are like, don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Cast the spell. And I was like, whoa. I didn't even notice that the first time that I watched it that they said that.
And they're like little boys.
And they're these little boys who are saying, already using pussy as a derogatory term to describe a man who is not being strong and powerful or whatever he was supposed to be being.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just like, that's not okay.
Right.
And it's not okay that us as a society, I didn't even notice that the first time I watched it. It didn't even dawn on me.
Right. Yeah, it's just you become numb to it. So why is perpetuating this all bad? So the root of being like a girl is probably these characteristics. Which are stereotypical of women, but don't obviously apply to everyone. Soft, gentle, caring, not tough or strong. I feel like is what they're really trying to say when they're saying that. So why is this bad for boys? One, it makes them discriminate against women, and it acts like they can't be gentle, or being gentle or soft and kind is a bad thing. So why it's bad for young women, though, it makes them have less self-esteem, or being a woman is lesser than a man. It makes a girl feel less strong when being a woman is a super strong thing to do. It's discouraging and puts a stereotype of ourselves into our own heads, which can be limiting.
Yes, very limiting.
Yes. All right. Thanks, Meg. That's the end of the podcast.
I just think that in some of the research that I did do, women's confidence, girls' confidence falls drastically when they hit puberty. Mm-hmm. And so whenever we use the term like a girl putting you down, that's only lowering these girls' confidence even more than necessary, even more than it already was being lowered, just due to the fact that you're going through puberty. Right. Puberty is a tough time, and then to have to drag it in and be like, oh, you throw like a girl.
Oh, puberty was rough.
Talk about multiplying that confidence by -10. I mean, seriously.
It sucks. Yeah, so it's bad. And like we were talking about, just in general, we've talked about this in previous podcasts, like being like a girl, I kind of think goes hand in hand when it's limiting for like women mentally. Like when you say like a girl, it makes it feel lesser. So maybe they won't pursue things that are stereotypically a man thing to do, like science, math. Like I think it just perpetuates all of that. It just goes hand in hand with all of that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Do you agree?
I agree completely. And whenever you think of the common terms that you use to say like a girl, it's mostly to do with sports. So you run like a girl, you throw like a girl, you fight like a girl. So then that's discouraging girls from doing those things and from getting out there and being on the track team or being on the softball team or whatever sport you're trying to accomplish. And I think that's discouraging those girls from getting out there.
One time I went on a date with a guy, and it was a one-time date because he was super annoying. But he was like, he's like, women's sports are stupid. And I'm like, if you know me, that is the worst thing to literally say to me ever. Right. But it's just like, it's that, I feel like he wasn't educated well enough. Like he like was told it's like a girl or not as good, or
he was told that women's sports are boring or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's the worst. Anyway, so why is being a woman actually a badass thing? I want you to try to think of examples when I'm like listing all these. One, the body of a woman is amazing. We talked about the breasts.
We talk about the breast
in the last podcast. So
and the vagina is pretty amazing too.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to say. We can carry a child, we can create life, and then we push them out.
That's insane. And then we feed them with our bodies.
Right. So, and stereotypically, this is a stereotype because not all women are like this, but stereotypically, being more sympathetic and empathetic is actually a strength. I don't think that's a weakness to be,
I don't think that's a weakness at all.
Right. And then we know we are equally as mentally strong, and we bleed out every month like it ain't no thing.
We don't even tell you when it's happening. We're literally bleeding out of our vaginas.
And we just clog it up. And we're just like staring at you like, yes, there's a war being fought inside of my vagina right now, but I'm just going to continue nod and smile like nothing's going on.
Ugh. I wonder how men would act if they bled out of their orifices. Orifices?
Oh, there would be leave of absence if their penis bled every month. That's actually horrifying, picturing a penis bleeding out.
Okay, get that mental picture out of your head ASAP.
We'll clear it out.
But I wonder what is something... Oh, the similarity that they compare cramping and periods to is men getting kicked in the balls.
I just feel like it's different. I'm not saying it's worse or less or anything. I just think it's not the same.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I wanted to give examples in real life. I just like the song Most Girls. It's a modern song. Let me read the lyrics. So like the like background information to this is that so at the beginning of the music video, it's like most girls, a guy is like, well, you're different than most girls. You're better than most girls. Like to a girl he's like recently dating as if it's a compliment. Why won't it let me? I'm just going to have to Google it. But she's like, that's not a compliment. I'd rather be like most girls.
That's good.
Because she's like, all girls are awesome, basically. So she thinks that's kind of an insult for men to be like, you're not like most girls.
It's
You're
Haley
different.
Steinfeld?
Yeah. And she says some girls, and it's just talking about like the type of feminism that Meg and I like. It says some girls feel best in their tiny dresses. Some girls, nothing but sweatpants looking like a princess. Some girls kiss new lips every single night. They're staying out late because they're just celebrating life. You know, some days you feel good in your own skin, but it's okay if you want to change the body that you came in because you're the greatest when you feel like a damn queen. We're all just playing a game in the way, trying to win at life. And she's just like, no two of us are the same. I want to be like most girls.
Oh, that's nice. That is a good song.
I think that's really sweet. I like that song. And so throwing like a girl, well, you know, there's badass softball players and badass Olympians, so I don't believe any of that. And so do you want to go into your little segment as well?
So yesterday, pretty late at night, because I was a slacker and I was putting all my eggs in one basket and only researching feminism
I'm just giving
in
you
the
crap.
workplace.
I'm sorry.
No, it's
and I didn't
okay.
mean your little segment. I meant your segment.
So I found on YouTube this hashtag like a girl campaign from Always. And last night I just was watching them over and over and just getting like teary-eyed and kind of emotional because they were so good and they were so powerful. And I'm surprised I hadn't heard of them before. Had you heard of them before?
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's kind of what inspired this podcast, actually.
So then last night, I was up pretty late watching them, and Desmond was already in bed asleep. And if you know our apartment, it's tiny, and you pretty much hear everything from anywhere that you are. And so he like pried open our door, and he was like, "Hey, how many times are you gonna watch that video over and over?" And I was like, "Sorry,
you need to bring those headphones home."
Yeah. So in the first video that I watched, it was directed by award-winning filmmaker Lauren Greenfield.
Yay, that it's a woman.
And she asked girls, boys, teenagers, older women, a wide variety of ages, to describe what they think like a girl means. And so she asked them to run like a girl. And so then they're just like barely moving their feet. Their arms are kind of just flopping by their sides. Then she says, fight like a girl. And, you know, just kind of throwing small punches in the air, nothing strong and powerful. And throw like a girl. And same thing. And all these movements are so sloppy and like you don't care and not strong in any sort of way. And then she asked one of the participants, who is probably a 13-year-old boy, she says, so do you think you just insulted your sister by doing this? And he was like, no. I mean, yeah, I insulted girls, but not my sister. And it's like, no, your sister is a girl. And so it was just like that clicking in his head where it's like, oh, I did insult girls, yet I know a lot of girls that aren't like this. And so it was just interesting to see it kind of processing in the back of his head. So then she asks a 13-year-old girl, she says, is like a girl a good thing? And she responds, I actually don't know if it's a bad or a good thing, but it kind of sounds like a bad thing. It sounds like you're trying to humiliate someone. And then it goes into the fact that a girl's confidence plummets during puberty, and telling girls that they are weak aren't strong breaks their confidence even further. Then towards the end of the video, it moves on to older women, maybe in their early 20s or early 30s, and the director asks one of them, what would you tell a girl if she kept on hearing, oh, you fight like a girl or throw like a girl? And she responds and says, keep doing it, because it's working. If people are telling you to run like a girl, swim like a girl, fight like a girl, that's their problem. If you're still scoring, if you're still getting the ball, if you're still first, then you're doing it right. It doesn't matter what they say. And yes, I swim like a girl and walk like a girl and wake up in the morning like a girl because I am a girl. And that's not something I should be ashamed of. And I was just like, oh, goosebumps.
Deep.
It was so good. And then the second video that I watched, this one was only girls or women aged probably around from as young as 6 to as old as 20. And the director said, have you ever been told that you can't do something because you're a girl? And the responses were, yes, all the time. It's a constant. This one was kind of funny. Girls are supposed to be happy and la-di-da. That's what like this little 10-year-old girl said. It was so cute. And then another really young girl said, I can't rescue anybody. It's always the boys who rescue the girls in the stories. And I was so like, sad. Oh my gosh.
So sad.
And then she asks these girls she brings out these really big white cardboard boxes. And she says, on these boxes, write in these markers all the limitations that you just thought of. And the girls wrote, girls should be perfect. Girls are weak. Girls aren't strong. They can't rescue people. Ugly. Girls can't play basketball. Unworthy. Emotional. Can't have muscles. And somebody wrote very talkative. Like we're known as being very talkative. Then the director asked the girls to just kick the boxes and break them all up and destroy them and just like crushing the stereotypes and crushing us with all the limitations that we think we have. And so that one was also a really good one.
I love that one. And also to add, one of the Always commercials that I saw, it had that intro with like up to the 13-year-old boy, but it also went to girls that are very young, like maybe 6 or so. Mm-hmm. And in the one I saw, they were like, run like a girl, and they didn't have any of the stereotypes in them yet.
Oh, yeah.
So they were running really quick, or they were fighting really hard when they asked the like young baby women what they thought, and they didn't have any of those things. I'm like, oh, stay that pure little girl, stay it pure.
And then when they got older, then that's when they started to seem weak and not strong.
Yeah. So it's clearly something different. One of the movies, like you said, like one of the stereotypes was like the boys are always saving the girls, but Wonder Woman.
Yes, it's so good. And I think it's out we can watch it now from our home.
It's a great illustration for women empowerment.
I want to watch it again. I watched it in the theater.
So good.
It was so good.
So change the way young women think. from never thinking anything is impossible. Just always encouraging young women. And my last question to like wrap up is, did this impact you as a young girl, Megan, to hear like a girl sort of a thing?
I don't know if it impacted me. I was never into sports. I never did any sports at all. I was on the dance team. And so then I wonder
That's a sport.
You're right. I never did basketball or soccer or anything like that where I had to be told, oh, you throw like a girl. I was actually probably told multiple times that I throw like a girl. Why
though?
Because I wasn't good at it.
But that's bad.
I know. Yeah, I never did anything like that. And
They should just call a spade and tell you you're bad at doing things.
They should just be like, Megan, you just all around suck at sports. It doesn't matter if you're a girl or a boy.
Sorry.
No, but I never did any sports like that because I was so bad at it. But then they also say in some of these commercials that girls quit at the age of 12 to 13. They quit running or doing sports because that's what they hear is they hear that they're bad at it and that they're not good at it and only boys can be good at it. And so maybe if I don't know, if I was given the chance to be good at something, like I wonder if I would have been.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I agree completely. I feel like I went through the same thing. I'm trying to think if that ever impacted me. You know, you hear it, but it's just like so ingrained that I'm sure it did have an impact somehow. I'm sure I've said like a girl or pussy before.
Yeah, me too. And I for sure say quit being a dick all the time.
Oh yeah. I say that all the time. But yeah.
So if we're going to fight about saying don't be a pussy, then we also need to fight about saying don't be a dick.
I need a better adjective. Maybe asshole.
Yeah, we all have assholes. That is not sexist to say don't be an asshole because we all got them.
All right. So thank you for tuning in.
You can cut that out if you want.
No, I think it's funny. So what was your good thing?
My good thing is that we don't have to go to work tomorrow.
You said that in the last podcast, Megan.
I'm sorry. Okay. My good thing. September 30th through October something, I'm going to be in Texas visiting my family and it's coming up and I'm so excited.
So exciting.
Mm-hmm.
Have like Whataburger and margaritas and all
queso, chips, barbecue. I am currently a flexitarian, so I only meat once or twice a week. That's what that means. It means that you try to have a vegetarian diet, but then on one day when you've only eaten breakfast and then it's 7 p.m. and you're starving and about to die and you have the sweats because you're so hungry, then I go to McDonald's and I get a ginormous cheeseburger, fries, milkshake, and I do that probably once a week.
Look it up. That's verbatim what the definition is. Look it up.
So I am a very starch flexitarian and for probably a couple of months now, but whenever I go to Texas, that's out the door. I'm eating all the barbecue.
Yep, I feel ya. My good thing is actually last night I was bored. So I was looking through, not that I was bored because I did this. I've looked through the book before, but I was looking through the book of my grandmother's paintings, Grandma Rosemary on my dad's side. And I was looking through her paintings and I found all these paintings of pears.
Yes.
And so that's kind of my good thing. It just kind of felt like weirdly connected.
Like a full circle, kind of.
Well, like maybe, yeah, it's kind of a stretch. I get that it's a stretch, but I thought it was still interesting.
Yeah, Kenzie was texting me all kinds of them that
she did like a whole series on just pears.
They were beautiful.
It's just kind of weird.
I'm going to post them on our Insta.
Yeah, just kind of feels connected. And she like uses her maiden name on her paintings. So, yeah.
So is she a strong lady?
Yes, she's very strong. She raised 3 boys.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yes. Very strong lady. Okay, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Oh, what's our positive quote?
Our quote is from Clementine Ford. Boys are given the universe in which to carve out their identities, the promise of infinite space for them to expand into and contract upon. Girls are only allowed enough room to be stars, and they must twinkle, twinkle if they want anyone to pay attention to them.
Very true. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe, like us on Facebook, and all that jazz.
All that stuff.
Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.